What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Lemme Dink podcast. It is episode 7, I believe. I
7.
think this is 7. We've been doing it
Episode
weeks.
7 2.0.
2.0. Yes, that makes sense.
We already
Episode
fucked up.
7, the sequel to episode 7.
I feel like so many of the fights would be one-sided almost. Whereas in mechanics, I feel like I want to see that scrappy 50-year-old guy who has 50-year-old man strength, mechanic strength against that big ass he's a big fat beard gut belly mechanic guy, but I want to see them scrap. I want to see
I want to see McDonald's workers scrap. Dude, you have no idea. Dude, I think a couple more years at McDonald's and I would have been like, dude, I'm going to just lose my job. I don't care. Yeah. I know last episode I was like, bro, I would never fight. But dude, I could totally see myself if I was at McDonald's for a couple more years, I'm like, bro, I don't need this job.
Fast food, definitely you're trying to throw hands.
Yeah.
In some
tenure. Can you imagine though, somebody that's just I don't know, maybe because you didn't work in how long did you work at Dunkin'?
Well, I went from Dunkin' to a burger place.
Oh, okay.
So,
but how long were you in the industry though?
Say a year and a half.
Oh, okay. That wasn't a long time.
Nah.
I'm just saying because I'd be seeing people there who worked at McDonald's for 10 years in the same position. And it's just bro, those people are so defeated.
Dude, those people, I feel so it's hard because some people you don't know what they're going through.
Yeah.
So they kind of want almost for some people, I saw them so happy after high school, not gonna lie. Because they knew that they weren't gonna go into college, but they were like, I know that I'm gonna work for the rest of my life, but I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
And I just want to get it started, and I want to start having my life. And when I saw them, originally I used to be like, nah, but you're kind of ruining your the setup for your life. But now that I'm older and shit, and I'm seeing stuff and everything, I'm like, no, you should definitely follow what you think or whatever. Yeah. What's it called? So, with that being said,
would you fight a big fat bitch customer?
How fat?
She's
oh, she?
Yeah.
No, I'm not fighting a girl. I'll fight
but
her
she's
husband.
She's 5'10" and 300 pounds.
No, I'll still fight her husband.
Why not?
I can't fight a woman.
She's not gonna take it easy on you.
Woman? No, I can't fight a woman.
You don't think so?
Big booty.
Okay, maybe for me it'd be an even fight. I think it'd be a 50-50.
I mean,
I don't think I'd do a lot of damage to 300 pounds.
I don't know why. I know you're saying McDonald's, but I keep thinking of Little Caesars. I would rather fight at Little Caesars. I feel like that's way
those
more.
Are definitely all 17-year-olds.
Yeah, those are hella 17. But going back to what I was saying about I feel like so many people get stuck in a certain routine that I kind of want that low key.
Yeah,
I kind of want to be not
I definitely
stuck.
I like the routine, just working at McDonald's doing the same shit every day.
Yeah, there's something good to that.
Yeah.
There's something to it that is just you get to shut your mind. You kind of know. It's so weird to say because it's gonna sound like we're almost like hamsters and shit. But you know when you're gonna eat, you know when you're gonna party, you know when you're gonna sleep. There's something to it that you're just the next 8 hours are gonna be miserable, but I know and after the next 10 are gonna be okay. So,
dude, I almost worked when I first started working at McDonald's. I was the first dude at the McDonald's that wasn't in the kitchen, and I remember thinking man, what would my life had been if I had worked in the kitchen? Because the reason I didn't go to the kitchen was because they already had too many people in the kitchen, and I could speak English, so I could take orders.
True.
So, yeah. So, but
helps.
I'm saying yes, but because I didn't work in the kitchen, I was able to people were able to see my people skills, but then also I got promoted to manager in a couple months afterwards. So it's and that's the reason why I got into oh shit, I like managing.
Yeah.
And now I'm back into school and that's dude, if I had worked in the kitchen, bro, my life would be so different, dude.
Yeah. Well, maybe not at the same time though, because maybe working under them, you would have been no, we need to do it like this, and then they would have been able to see your skills, and then you could have, because there's no manager in the like kitchen.
But yes, but they're always below the manager from the front.
Nah, they're
Like
always
they're always below.
the South is always gonna answer to the good old North. It's always gonna be like
Just
that.
like the master to.
What? We'll be right back.
We just got a call from the NBC CEO. We just gotta take this real quick.
Well, we're canceled already. Oh, did you hear the first episode of Kill Tony's
Yeah, I was watching it before I got here.
What did you think?
It was just like a YouTube video.
Dude, I feel like that shit's gonna crash and burn.
The first, nah, I think it just brings it to a wider audience. It wasn't. They didn't change the format at all.
I heard it
Well,
was weird.
from what I know, because I never watched it on YouTube. But the first comic,
I don't touch that shit
but
out of
the
outside of
first
Netflix.
comic that they had up there was like very bad. Like
Uh,
nobody, I wasn't laughing. It just was a very boring couple minutes.
no, I saw a clip that I thought it was the whole thing, but maybe not because you're talking about like it was normal. But I saw a clip where like somebody says a joke, and then Tony's like what? Uh, he says like if you don't want like blah 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 comedy, whatever the type of joke was, this is Netflix. Just pop on over.
To
John
John Mulaney,
Mulaney,
yeah,
yeah, yeah,
that was in the first 10 minutes. I did see that part. He
yeah.
was saying because the first comic who was terrible,
Uh huh.
he was he was 100% Vietnamese, but he was adopted by Jewish parents. And so it was after his minute set, and he was like asking him questions, and he's like, "Oh, so what is interesting about you?" Because his like shit was terrible, and he was like, "Well, I'm 100% Vietnamese, and I was adopted by Jewish parents." He's like, "Oh, that wasn't a joke." He's like, "No, that wasn't a joke." He's like, "Oh, so well, well, what made your Vietnamese parents put you up for adoption?" And then Joe Rogan was like, "What?" Like, and then what? Yeah, exactly. Like, huh? And then nobody in the audience laughed. Everybody was like, like what? Like, I can't believe he was just so mean to
Oh,
him.
and that's where he was like,
Yeah, like,
"Oh,
he's
you
like,
guys
oh,
are."
if you guys are easily have ever been offended, then you're going to be offended in this show multiple
Oh,
times.
okay, okay,
So
okay.
it's easy. You just go over to John Mulaney. He's
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
safe bet for you guys.
yeah.
Because this is, if you're used to it on Netflix, for all you Netflix viewers,
I mean,
this is how the show
but the
goes.
way he says that to you Netflix viewers, it's like, yeah, it's on Netflix. Like,
Yeah,
there's no other viewers. It's Netflix
yeah, it's
viewers.
Netflix
Like,
viewers.
I don't know.
Right, but it's like it's the Netflix viewers are new. That's the thing. The show's been
But that's why I think
around
it's gonna
longer.
crash and burn because it's
Oh,
specifically.
but it's the same show though. It's like if they brought Mr. Beast's show to Netflix and people didn't like it on
Nah,
Netflix.
not because the whole point of Kill Tony's show, in my opinion, right? It's his fucking show, but the whole point, at least that I saw, that people saw value in it was because it was the first time that like comedians could kind of, well, the culture of it was that comedians could kind of go all out, right?
Yeah.
Like almost nothing is off the bars. Like, I mean, you're not gonna say just like mean stuff, but you're not gonna hold back. Whereas in like maybe in like a comedy setting, in like a normal like the comedy store or whatever, like a comedy club, you're not
Yeah.
gonna necessarily always go against like race, like the way someone looks. Like you're gonna try to be smart about it. Kill Tony was the first one, in my opinion, where they was like, that's all fair game. In fact, that's almost 90% of what we do here.
Just like talk about the race and how someone looks.
Or like if they're just fat, like when he said all those jokes about when you said it right now, where the adoption, why they left him off for adoption, like that's like for the par on like a YouTube like episode of Kill Tony, because I've
Yeah.
seen them before. But like that's where I'm saying, where like the whole point of Kill Tony was to be everything that you can't say on Netflix and Hulu and streamers.
Oh,
So now that they put it on Netflix, it's just gonna be like, nah, bro, it doesn't work. You can't have your cake and eat it at the same time. You can't be anti like like media. What is that like? Not uh
just PC.
not really PC. Like you can't be anti mainstream and then also mainstream. It doesn't work
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
I see what you're saying.
Like
At the same time, though, I feel like he's not gonna lose viewers that he didn't already have.
no, I think he's gonna lose the show on Netflix.
Oh yeah, probably, but I mean, it's only up. You can only gain viewers. You know what I mean? because he's still gonna have new eyes on it,
Oh,
and the
on the
people on,
YouTube, on the original, like,
right, but also because now that it's on Netflix, because yeah, you're right, because it's not like it was exclusive to Netflix, because it's been around, it's all still on YouTube, but like I'm saying, like all the viewers that he has on Netflix now, the ones that are gonna stay are gonna be lifelong fans now, and the ones who don't, then he didn't need them to have a show. You get what I'm saying?
but
But yeah, you're right. I do think if it does like too offensive, then he probably won't have it on Netflix anymore. But I don't think it'll harm the show.
I don't even think it's gonna be him. I think they're gonna be the ones that tell him like we're not gonna, because it's going by episode, right? They don't even have like a whole full
I have no
season.
idea. I didn't even know if it was like a episode
Just
or
clicked on
what.
it,
I just clicked on it just to kill time. Yeah.
and it was not worth it.
No, dude, it was like because yeah, I only watched like the first 50 minutes, and like literally the first comic was so terrible. Like it,
Mm.
I felt like I was like looking at it. I'm like, is this is on Netflix? Because I was like, and I feel bad for the guy because obviously he's the first guy on Netflix,
Yeah, dude. And
and
wait, but I also saw, didn't he say he did comedy for like 5 years?
yeah,
I
dude.
was like,
And he was like, you did comedy for 5 years, and he was like, yeah.
he was like, where?
Yeah, yeah. He was like, oh, like
At
is
the
that?
ice house,
And then,
the
dude,
rice house. That's
and
what he
dude,
says.
yeah, he kept trying to make funny jokes during like the interview.
But that's every episode of like Kill
Oh,
Tony.
okay.
That happens every time.
Right, but it was kind of like they were not funny either. So
Bro, that's every episode. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
I mean, again, I never watched it, but yeah, there was like the one question he asked him. He was like, oh, so how long have you been doing this for? And he's like, oh, 5 years. And he's like, oh, okay, so is this like a new set that you tried, or is this like your best
Oh
minute? And he's like, oh yeah, it wasn't my best. He's like, that wasn't the question.
yeah. Yeah.
He's like, I could have done
He
better.
was like, "Did you write this or did?" And then he was like, "I definitely did not think this 5 minutes on the way over."
Yeah,
Dude, that fucking sucks.
yeah, and oh, dude, the worst part where he's like, oh, he's like, what do you do for a living? He's like, oh, I used to be a banker, and he's like, okay, so what do you do now? I try to do comedy, and it was just like, so you like saved up a bunch of money, and then like you just live off that because that would be cool. And he was like, yeah, I got divorced. And it's just like, what?
Well, technically, he did
I,
lose a lot of money.
I mean, yeah, but it was like so weird because it's like that doesn't even like we still don't know where you stand financially,
Yeah,
which is like what we wanted to know.
no, but that's a lot of the Kill Tony viewers. That's what makes it funny. Because like you just ask them one thing and they just will.
They just
They
break
know where
apart.
you're going,
Yeah,
and they're just like, "I'm not gonna answer."
yeah.
Like I'm gonna try to deflect the fuck out of it. But that's funny because also when he asked him that, I remember now because I remember seeing clips. He was like, "Oh, so you're a banker? We know. I guess we know which side you got that from." And then Redman plays like the
The
shit.
Jew, yeah,
Yeah, dude,
that's pretty
fuck.
funny. Yeah, that was really funny. And yeah, I think I don't know. I never, like I said, I never watched it on YouTube, so I guess that is just how the show goes. But yeah, there was just so many like just cringe parts, and I was just like, bro, why am I watching this? But I mean, like I said, so like me, if you would have just lost me as a viewer, I mean that wouldn't, like I said, I wouldn't really hurt him because people who watch him on Netflix who already watched him on YouTube would just go back to YouTube once
Hmm.
he's done. So I think it was a good deal for him to take, anyways.
I think it's gonna be the worst thing for him ever because okay, so when he gets canceled off of Netflix, I don't think
Yeah.
that's gonna necessarily. Well, maybe who knows if it gets like canceled, like a joke is said or something. But as far as it is right now, I feel like it's just gonna get normal canceled. Like they're just not gonna produce it anymore. That is gonna look super negative in terms of Tony because it's like the when you get to the top of the top in terms of sponsors,
Oh.
you cannot sustain that. So it's gonna like these S level, sponsors or companies that could have come in and like sponsored it or whatever, Kill Tony, they're no longer going to be interested because they're going to be like, this is not like other companies who have tried it. They don't stand long, so it's just going to be like dwindling down to like because I'm not trying to say other companies are better or worse or whatever, but you have to look at budget wise,
Yeah.
and I feel like they're gonna go down from like a Netflix into a fucking like better help. Get your better help, guys. It's just gonna be like every other YouTube thing where it's like they could have. same, almost same thing with the phase where like if they almost kept that mystique where it's like we're never gonna be mainstream, never. It would have been like, oh, imagine if Kill Tony went mainstream, they would be the biggest ever. But like they did, they proved that it's not gonna work,
Yeah,
and then now that they come back, it's
and
gonna be
it looks weird on the like I just completely understand what you're saying where they're like like not mainstream. And also like this is kind of off topic, but like how do people like comedians that aren't like on YouTube making like videos make money?
dude.
I have no idea because I be seeing so many people like, and this might just be like them saying it, but like they'll be like, oh, what do you do for a living? Like, oh, I'm a comedian, and it's like, bro, I've never heard of you. Not like not to like diss on you or
Yeah,
anything, but it's like I actually like, how do you make money? You know what I mean? And I'm like, because like I would really like to know, because like if there's like some like secret way like to get sponsorships like outside of social media, like that'd be so like that'd be like an open gateway that we could like get into almost and be like, whoa, like we could just like live off that and just like be comedians.
dude. Okay, that I feel like when we think of comedians, athletes, musicians, all
Yeah.
of these people, we do have like good like LeBron James, right? A specimen among men.
Yes, a specimen. You
But
like that word a lot.
but
How many times has Noni said specimen like this
I
in the
love
past
that
like
word.
5 episodes?
But like I do think potentially there's someone who is either walking this earth right now, is a baby, or probably was in their prime in the past couple of years who was better than LeBron James. It's just that they never had the resources, the opportunity. They just had
Yeah.
to fucking live life. Like they didn't have the opportunity to like play basketball, go train, go to matches,
You
go
heard
to
about that
practice.
guy who got shot, right? He
No.
was like a high schooler. He got like perfect scores in his ACTs. Like number one in the nation. He like had like a rap song that like a diss track on his like on somebody that like got like 1 million views. He was doing everything, bro. Like like this guy was like in the
On
hood
and
of
off the
like
court, a
on and off the
beast.
court like a beast, and he's over here doing gang banging on the side, bro, and get shot like a fucking dumbass.
Dumbass.
We need to bully like gangbangers, dude.
You had everything. He had
Yeah, every
everything.
perfect scores in the ACTs is
I mean,
crazy.
I mean, okay, wait, but on the flip side though, try telling that guy he can't be a gang member. Like he does every
Oh yeah,
he literally on
yeah.
the court,
Of course not.
off the court in terms of like his
Like yeah,
studies,
I can go gangbang.
and then someone's like, but you can't gangbang. He's
I
like,
got A's, bro. I can go do whatever I want.
are you sure about that?
Yeah,
He
because like
literally wait, he literally succeeded in that too, because like
yeah,
most gangbangers like whatever, like I'm not gonna get too much into like the political side of that or whatever, but like the hardest thing you could do technically as a gangbanger is like go down for like your shit, your set, whatever, your
yeah.
neighborhood. So even in that, he kind of
I
succeeded
mean,
in
he
that too.
died in his prime, dude.
Kind of the best you could
And it's
ask
kind
for
of the
a
best he could
gang.
have.
Like
He was only like, but like I'm saying, he was like only a sophomore in high school. He wasn't even like he had still had 2 years to go to college, and he was still number one in the nation.
that's fucking crazy.
Yeah,
Okay, but the shit that I was saying with LeBron, right? So the comedians that we have now, we have like there's
yeah.
legends, right?
Oh yeah,
But the even like the people that are like producing normal ass specials that are gonna be produced today, tomorrow, yesterday, those are not the best comedians in the world,
nah,
and that's what bothers me when you have people like Kill Tony and shit, where they like, dude, I hate this weird notion where comedians start to be like regular people or call like people that aren't comedians like civilians.
yeah,
That blows my mind because every single comedian that is quote unquote a comedian right now, they didn't come out of the
nah,
womb a comedian.
nah.
Their mother was not like, this is my son the comedian, my daughter the comedian.
Yeah,
Nobody came out like that. All you people were normal ass people, and like the reason that it bothers me is because like they have this like pretentious way of like, we're funny, like we know what funny
no.
is.
You know what though? I kind of agree with that though, because it's
Dude,
like
get the fuck out of here. I
but I
don't
don't
agree
mean
with that.
no. But I don't mean as in terms of like I feel like there's some people who like comedians like they like know if like somebody can do stand up. I think that's kind of like they're like kind of like gatekeeping stand up.
Okay, okay. If that's what they mean, that's different because the way they say it is always like, we know who's funny. And in
Yeah.
my opinion, that is such a fucking BS thing because there's so many people that I've like worked with,
Yeah.
worked on like at school with that like just small like shit that I'm like, bro, this guy, this person,
It's
girl
hilarious. Yeah.
or guy, they're funny, but just because they're not when it's in front of a stage in front of like 20 people where you have to tell like haha jokes doesn't mean that that person is not funny. Like
Yeah.
in the definition that is funny, that person is hilarious. But just because they can't go up there and fucking hump a stool for 20 minutes, it's just like, man, this guy's not funny. They don't
Dude,
even know what comedy
if Joe
is,
Rogan started doing stand up today, bro, he would not make it.
dude. Who the fuck told Joe Rogan he knows who funny is, like, or what funny
Nah,
is,
he
like,
doesn't know anything.
bro? The only person who can you can say Joe Rogan is like friends with that like without Joe Rogan would be a
Yeah.
star is Shane Gillis.
Yeah.
That's the
I
only
I
person.
personally also I know people always hate on Tom Segura, but I actually like his stand up.
I like his stand up, but the reason why I'm starting to see Tom in a decline, everybody has a style of comedy, right?
Yeah.
But in my opinion, Tom is the one that has you've actually seen the least amount of like growth in. Okay,
Yeah.
so like Bill Burr, right? They have very similar styles of comedy where they'll take something and kind of like shit on it a little bit. That's
Yeah.
their type of comedy. But Bill, that's his formula. But look at what he talks about. He literally talks about like politics, abortion, race. Like the spectrum is so wide with him. With Bert, it's almost always like the shit that like just fucks with him. And
With Tom Segura?
yeah, yeah, and I feel like it's just
Yeah.
like you're supposed to evolve a little bit, you
Yeah,
know?
no, he's just that's his whole like shtick, and that's just because that's just how he is. He's just like a he's
Yeah.
very you, and I didn't even you can tell you can't really tell from stand up because I feel like most stand up comedians on stage they come across very like selfish, like I'm the only person in the world that matters
Mm-hmm.
because that's just how they think about stories and stuff.
Yeah.
But when you see them in podcasts, usually or hopefully you would like to see them be like humble people. But Tom Segura is not one of those guys. He
Dude.
just seems like the same. Like, no, this I actually
Assholey.
do believe like I'm the
Yeah.
only person that matters in the
You
world.
dude.
So it's like I understand why people hate him, and like I definitely see where people are like he's not that funny because it's kind of dry humor. I just like his unique perspective on stuff. But also, people hate that when he started doing stand up in New York, he didn't, he worked as a comedian full time before even being known because his dad is super rich.
Okay, another that's what I wanted to tap onto too. So if you actually look at so many comedians that are like big comedians, bro, their parents were actually so well off.
Yeah,
Bert Kreischer, his dad was a lawyer and his mom was a oh fuck, but it makes good money.
yeah.
Same thing how you're saying. Bert Kreischer, his dad, dude, he even talks about it in like podcasts. Like at the beginning of
Tom
his
Segura
life, he maybe they weren't doing the best, but like there was a chunk where like they were literally moving and shit because like his dad was
moving up the ladder.
like literally moving up the like to me that's like it's so unfair when you start to look at all these other things because that's the
Yeah,
problem they're saying is happening with basketball right now.
yeah,
um
yeah,
like the prep schools and shit to be in the NBA, it's
yeah. Like the
nobody
Ball brothers.
nobody is making it to the NBA that's from the streets.
No.
Nobody. If like you're going to play basketball like at your local corner basketball court, you're already out of the running for like making it to the NBA. All these guys, all these NBA guys are putting their kids in from like 6 year old into like $1,000 fucking camps and tournaments and shit. And
Yeah,
from that age, they're going with these trainers like after school and shit, or literally going to specific schools just for the basketball program, and then like their whole life is so like if you look at the amount of money that these basketball players at this point, because that's they're doing it for their sons, the amount of money that they're putting in, no way someone who's just like an average Joe can like give their son or daughter the same amount of resources or money to like
yeah,
get into that. Already one in terms of resources, and then two, if like you see that your kid is gonna be like extraordinary, you might be putting that extra step to make their dreams or whatever they need to happen. But if you're not, if you don't see that, you're gonna be like, bro, get a job, get a career, do something. Like I'm not gonna let you go play basketball every five
yeah,
days. Like no, get the fuck out of here. So already so many people get out of the running just literally just because of money, resources, and like privilege,
Yeah.
and not even race. Like
Nah.
it's just about having money and like having like the actual abundance of time and resources to be like, okay, like here's $1,000 for like a training camp, like a
Yeah.
basketball training camp, and it's just like, yo, like connecting that back to this, like now you start thinking about it in a perspective of like Tom Segura, Burke Reicher. These people are not in the positions that they're in because they're the funniest people that have ever fucking walked the earth. It's just because their fucking dads gave them the opportunity to establish themselves when they were young. So now when like companies are like, we need a comedian, like somebody that's like a white guy that like maybe he's like cool with everybody. Oh, let's just get Bert. Once they get Bert, obviously that's a little stepping stone, stepping stone, stepping stone. 25 fucking years later, we have him on comedy
Yeah.
fucking specials. Five comedy specials, all saying the same shit.
And not to mention, I think you also like, not to take away from like them, because it's like it's one thing being like privileged and like being able to perfect your craft, and obviously it's an advantage, but like somebody had to have liked them, you know what I mean? So it's like an advantage in terms of like, because if you're
Joe
rich
Rogan.
and stuff, what?
Joe Rogan liked them.
Joe, exactly. Joe Rogan liked them, and I'm sure they weren't friends beforehand, but I'm sure if you have like all the time in the world, you can probably hang around like way more than you
Yeah.
can, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it's like people who like
You don't have 5 minutes to impress them. You have like a whole
yeah,
hour and shit to be like, okay,
yeah,
I like them, I guess. Yeah,
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 but
yeah.
it's also like there's so many like people who you see like in the industry, like they have connections to the industry already,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like very easy for them to get in. Like the guy from Hellstar, who owns Hellstar, and the guy of Fear of God, or even Virgil Abloh. Like all those people, they knew people who were famous when they were building their brands,
Mm-hmm.
so they just give their friends like, hey, can you wear my brand?
Yeah, yeah.
And it's just like you don't even need advert to pay for advertisements, because you already you can make shitty clothes. Like Fear of God, bro, is literally like high end blanks, and they just use a heat transfer to like put on there. It's not even like Hellstar. I'll give Hellstar that they have cool designs,
Mm-hmm.
regardless of like how easy it is to make the stuff,
Mm-hmm.
which it isn't, first of all. But for Fear of God, like I hate their stuff that it's so easy to make, and it's just like their stuff is just like,
I don't like Fear of God, to be
yeah.
honest.
And they started this whole trend of like simple,
They have like the
like
oversized, like the gym ones, right?
they're not even oversized. I wouldn't even call them oversized. Like, they are a little bit oversized, but
That's
that's
not
the
that.
thing. They're not even that different than like
Yeah,
regular hoodies. That's what I don't like about it.
yeah, yeah,
Which
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I mean, like once you build a name for it, and it's like once you see people like wearing it, or once people see other people wearing it, then it's like, oh, I can see how it looks good. And it's like that's all you need is like somebody to be like somebody who is already like trusted for their taste, to be like, I like this, and be like, well, that guy has good taste. It's good.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm sure Joe Rogan might be like, this guy's good. And even though it kind of tickles his like stupid comedy kind of side, where it's like, it's not, he likes it, but it's not good comedy. Doesn't make
That's
it
what I'm
good.
saying.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Cause like, dude, if we just were like, as a society, like, put way more focus into like when people are younger, being like, all right, what do you think you want to do? These are the steps that people usually take. Like literally, like a career counselor, but like way younger and more like not. This isn't shouldn't be based on the school. It should be like we get like actual therapists, actual people, actual counselors to like build like a whole agency. So like
Yeah.
actual put people in positions where they're actually gonna like not even just for the people, for like humankind. Because like imagine the amount of people that are like I think about this about scientists and like people that are hella smart too. I feel like there's so many people that are like literally intelligent. It's just the fact that either like learning disabilities, education, like
Yeah.
little shit that at the beginning that if you just tweaked a little bit, like small little stepping stones, exactly like fucking Burke Kreischer in his career and all this shit, that you would just have a different like person, like and society as a whole.
Yeah.
Bro, we honestly we just gotta eat the rich, overthrow the government.
Shit. I mean, there's, I don't know if you've seen those conspiracy videos of like J Lo, where they say like who was really singing her songs.
Oh no.
because it's like she can't sing, and so people are like realizing they're doing hints, but like all these like famous like people, they have NDAs and stuff, so it's like there's some things they can't talk about, but like you'll see like people who were famous now who were not famous before J Lo. Like you'll see like interviews of like not interviews. That's the thing. It's like it's all these evidence that these like people on YouTube like put together and like oh my gosh, and it's really just comes down to a theory. But it's like it's so like the evidence is so damning. It's like bro, how could this not be true? Where it's like okay, this person sounds exactly like this person from this other song,
Mm-hmm.
and we know that this person worked on this song the year before, so they know that this person has connections with this person, and it's like J Lo just came into the scene from nobody. So people think that like all these music producers found like J Lo, who was like she could pass as black, but also like she speaks to the Hispanic community in New
Mm-hmm.
York. We need to get her to make music because she's gonna be good for publicity, but she can't sing. So we'll get this person that nobody knows who's been waiting for the big break to sing her songs, and this person's gonna accept it because they're really good, talented singers, but they're not as like attractive or yeah, conventionally attractive as J Lo.
Mm.
And I don't know what her name was. I think her name was Ashanti or something. And like 2 years later, she came out with her own album, and people were like, "Wait, what the heck? These kind of sound the same." And it's like this whole time, people are like realizing, like, "Oh shit!" Like Ashanti has been singing J Lo songs since the beginning, but now her stardom, or now that she got the money for recording that album, she finally was able to make her own album. And now people are realizing that like she has the talent to work without her looks,
Yeah.
and so now people are able to see her for her own work. And now people are like in the producer's head when they were first making the JLo album, they were never expecting for her to be like, or the background singer, the ghost vocals, for them to ever be like breaking out as like their own artist. You know what I mean? And it's just
Yo.
like stuff like that, and that goes even to like the Beyonce thing. I don't know if you
Yeah.
ever heard that, like people like thinking Beyonce because they think that you're gonna kill her, like they're gonna kill, or like that Beyonce's gonna get somebody to kill them. Like anytime like Grammys are stolen or something, like anytime Beyonce's nominated for like a Grammy, and like somebody else takes the Grammy, like every time somebody gets the Grammy and they go up there super nervous because they won against Beyonce, and they always like, oh, and thinking Beyonce, like, we wouldn't be here without you. We wouldn't be here without you anyway. So it's like really this award is yours. Yeah.
Fuck that,
And
bro.
it's
Fuck
like,
that. Well, I don't even make music,
yeah, no.
but
But it's just very like,
nah, bro. I'm so tired of all this, bro. I'm so tired of NDAs. I'm so tired, bro. I can't wait for like this new wave of content creation and everything for like just someone to be like, just even comedians, bro. Comedians like when just posting crowd work, posting like their own little bits, like traveling and stuff,
yeah.
start getting more momentum than even like the biggest guys. Because
Shane Gillis was the first guy.
no, nah, what? The first wait, what are you talking about? In the Rogan sphere, or
No,
what are
no,
you talking
no.
about?
He was the first guy to make it as a huge stand up comedian without TV.
Oh,
Eh,
there
You
was
get
another
me?
person too. Oh,
Like
I mean,
he's kind of like,
Andrew Schultz. There's
um
a couple people.
I wouldn't say he's as big as Shane
Sebastian
Gillis,
Maniscalco.
but he
Oh
has
no,
movies
no,
and
yeah,
stuff.
he
That guy
had
has
movies. He
movies
had
and that guy
movies.
has plenty of movies.
Uh,
And yeah, Andrew Schultz, he has like,
no, I feel like there's definitely a couple.
oh, okay. Well, I feel like that group of people like Andrew Schultz, who else was like a
Oh,
guy?
Bobby Lee is
Ralph
another person.
Barbosa.
Is another person who you don't know who has actually his Bobby Lee's
He's very seasoned. He's a veteran.
no, but I didn't know this, and then I remember there was like a podcast that like you actually have to look for. I remember I saw it one time and I was like, damn, like why does nobody talk about this? Bobby Lee had gone on someone else's podcast, and they were like, "So we did a little bit of an investigation about your family, and apparently you have a very successful like cousin or something like that." And then Bobby was getting like very like agitated. He was like, "Hey," and then he's like, "Yeah, like something Lee. Apparently he's a part of Marvel. He does like a lot of like the drawings and some.
Yeah.
He's actually a very accomplished person." And then Bobby was just like, trying to be like, "But Asians, same last name, da, da, da. And then they were like, "Isn't this you and him together at like your like eighth grade birthday party?" And then Bobby just like can't tell like what to say, but like even that in itself, like you have to imagine. Let's just say, right, like you're in the conversation about like even like getting a part for a show,
Yeah,
and then just someone happens to be like, oh, isn't that your boy, isn't that your cousin Brian or whatever,
yeah,
like, and it's like, oh yeah, you should get that guy low key, like
yeah.
just
It's
that
little
small
little stuff like
thing,
that that always like that can change your life.
dude, literally. But
Yeah,
then now with the new wave of content creation and everything, like we're gonna see some more guys that are like, people are gonna start following them because they're funny. And then, I mean, the thing with Joe Rogan, like I said, you have that thing with like Phase, where you have that sort of like mystique, right? Not as much because it's just Joe Rogan, but like Protect Our Parks, Sober October. You have this thing of like this guy sort of like, oh, you're with the boys when like you're listening to Joe Rogan type of thing. But like as soon as you have someone else who's in the comedian space, who starts to make like a sort of like camaraderie type of environment where like people can go and just start talking, right? Not have to like be on an agenda or anything. You have someone who gives what Joe gives, but just like better. I mean, theoretically, right? If I'm
Wait,
just talking about,
why would it be? Yeah, I was gonna say why would you say it's like better than Joe's just because he's not? You're
because
saying
Joe Rogan isn't funny.
yeah, okay, yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like he
That's
just
why. That's why. Like, it
yeah,
depends who you, because you could
like
just pick
people
some
trust
fucking
his
random person.
like
But
people trust his taste, but you're saying that he has bad taste.
I don't. I wouldn't say no, no, no. I said he's not funny because Joe Rogan. The reason why people, in my opinion, people started listening to Joe Rogan was because he talked about everything, but also he was a guy who like Joe's like, it's funny because Joe's like your average Joe, right? Like
Yeah,
he kind of is interested in whatever he just
wants to
hears
talk about.
about, right?
Yeah, it's always memes about like, have you ever tried elk?
Dude,
And it's just like, you know who's a really good interviewer? The guy from Hot Ones, and he's from
oh yeah, yeah,
Chicago.
yeah, 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 yeah.
He's from Chicago.
Shit, something Evans, right?
Sean Evans.
Sean Evans,
He's
yeah.
a really good interviewer.
Dude, Sean Evans, he's the man.
Come on our show, bro.
Sean Evans, hot
Sean
one.
Evans, come back to Chicago.
But what's it called? Oh fuck! I literally just fucking lost my train of thought.
Joe Rogan, how he's like not funny, and he talks
Uh,
about everything.
oh yeah, like, I mean, you would have to consider who you're gonna put in there,
Yeah,
but just okay, replace Joe Rogan with like, imagine every
yeah.
Joe Rogan episode
You
with
could
like a
replace it
Mark
with
Normand.
yeah, or Sean Evans.
Eh.
You don't think Sean Evans?
I don't think he's the funniest.
Well, no, he's not funny, but I don't think Joe Rogan tries to be funny in the podcast. I feel like I've
Not every
watched no,
episode,
no,
right?
it's definitely only
Not
with
every
his
second.
friends. With his friends, I feel like anytime he's with like scientists and stuff, he's not trying to be funny.
See, but that kind of annoys me because he's technically a comedian, no?
Yeah, but that's the thing. Like you were saying, like I don't watch his show because he's funny. I watch him because he has interesting guests,
True.
which is like you're right. You could replace Joe Rogan with somebody else.
But that's what he is invested in, whatever he listens to, right? So like
Yeah,
years ago, he heard about jujitsu or whatever. Now he fucking is a black belt or whatever. He started hearing about ayahuasca. Now this dude be getting high like 24/7. Like
yeah,
he's just that type of guy. But you could anybody could really do that. Like
yeah,
just go full in on whatever they really, because there's people who love other sports, right? They be like snowboarding and shit, hang
yeah.
gliding. I would want to hear about that. And then
He
maybe
got
they're not into fighting. Maybe they're into like,
yeah.
like,
That's the thing though, is that those people went like all in what they love, and then they became successful, and then got the platform later.
dude. Also,
You know what
you
I
know
mean?
what? It's also the fact that Joe Rogan kind of needed the Joe Rogan experience,
Yeah. Well, apparently he was talking about how he had been doing this since before
Fear
YouTube.
Factor and everything,
Since
right?
before YouTube.
So like,
He was that's the thing, he was there before there was even a need for the podcast format.
but Joe Rogan, he tried being an actor,
Oh,
like,
did he?
yeah.
Oh, I feel like every comedian does.
But he was on a show, News Story, News Time, something like that.
I'm not sure.
Point is, right? So he's wanted to be on TV. He's wanted to get on stage to be a comedian. Like low key, like Joe is kind of vain in to a certain degree in terms of like wanting to like for people to see him.
Oh yeah.
So like regardless of like the podcast, him being like, oh, I'm just a guy, just I should be allowed to talk shit. Like to some degree, he's a like, but I want you to hear me talk shit. Like
Yeah. I mean, I feel like every podcast to an extent, even a little bit.
true, true.
I mean, yeah, I think it'd be kind of weird for comedians to not have that. I mean, you're going up on stage and like
Shane Gillis, I
talking
don't
your
think he got
shit.
that.
Nah, he definitely does because he even talks about in the story, like when he was like, after he like dropped out of college and like went to work at like in his hometown and like at the back of a kitchen, they had like a stand up routine and or they had open mic and people were like going up and he was like, bro, these guys are terrible. I could do better, and he just went up and bombed. But it was just funny because he thought like I could do better. And then like after he was started doing good, he went to Philadelphia and then he went to New York and he just started doing stand up on his own because he felt like I could do that. I could do it
Yeah,
better than you.
yeah.
It,
That's
and that was
crazy,
his home, and that's because just because he from the kitchen, he saw some dude doing terrible,
dude.
and he's like, I can do that,
That's
and
dude.
they're not even getting paid.
Shane Gillis is literally the anti Bert Kreischer because he literally saw him. He literally saw a shitty comedian. He was like, I can do that. Like you fucking suck. And it's literally what I'm saying. Where it's just like the guy. Because also, if you look at Shane Gillis's like track record, like nowhere in there does it look like he ever thought that he was gonna be like comedy. Because a lot of the
Nah,
comedy people you talk to them, they were like, I was in drama. I always like in being on the debate team. I was like talking, bro. Shane Gillis, he went to like Fort
Point West,
Point West, whatever,
Fort Worth.
whatever the fuck that place is. He went
I think it's a
to
real place.
he went to fucking military academy. He was on the football team.
He did graduate college, and
Like
he would teach. He taught in Spain.
he taught him speak Spanish
Yeah, no,
or
he taught
no, he taught
history.
Spanish here, right?
No, he's taught. Oh
Oh
yeah, I
no,
think
he
he went to Spain to teach history class in English.
oh yeah, there you go. Something where it's like yeah, something. But
Yeah,
like all those things you name, you don't think comedian in any
no,
of that. So
I don't.
like
Yeah, his plan was definitely not to be a comedian
it,
until he realized how bad the comedians in his hometown were, and then they were like, then he was definitely like, bro, I could do that
that's
on my
exactly what
spare
I'm
time.
saying.
Yeah,
Well, not on the spare time, because didn't he say for like 20 years he was like I've heard enough of it of the podcast where he's like, dude, for 10 years I didn't get a cent,
yeah, and
and then now
well, yeah,
Phil.
but that's what I'm saying though. Like he definitely had to have done that on his spare time. He wasn't just living in the. He had to have been working during that. You know what I mean?
But I think he was working to do that.
Oh yeah, of
I don't think it
course.
was like spare time,
No, it
like
was his free time. But
yeah,
like
yeah.
it was like yeah, you're right. It's like and that's what I was saying earlier about like I wonder if all the people who say they're comedians because they do it for a living or if they say it because which is better in my opinion to say it because that's what you like to do. You know what I mean? Like that's like a European thing where people will say like, "Oh, what do you do?" And it's like, "Oh, I'm a surfer." And he's like, "Oh, you get paid to surf?" And it's like, "No, I just like to surf."
Oh, that's pretty cool.
You know what I mean? Like, and it's just like such an American thing to be like, "What do you do?" And it's like, "Oh, I make money. I make money
Yeah,
doing. I am a banker.
trust me, I'm not poor.
Yeah, I'm a banker. I'm a banker. I could make good money." And it's like, okay, but what do you like? And it's like, in Europe, they like it's like your title is like what you like to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like your job comes second.
Mm.
And usually they sometimes don't
What do you
intertwine.
do?
Me? I don't know. I feel like I just call myself an artist. I like
Ooh.
what's it called? Like I remember like when I first started working at my new job, people would be like, "You're an artist," and I'm like, "Eh?" And I'm like, "Not really." And they're like, "Well, you do all this stuff," and I'm like, "Yeah." And it's like, "Well, then you're an artist," and it's like, "Oh,
I
and I
mean,
guess,
shit.
yeah, because like I mean, I'll literally go home and like work on graphic design to like make sure it's just cause you know what I mean. I just like doing it.
I just imagine you at your like that's like trying super hard, and then the camera just flips and just like a really big piece of shit.
Yeah, that's I literally just do that for fun because it's just fun to
Just
me.
a piece of shit.
Yeah, it's a good. Dude, I swear to God, I've been staying up at like so. I will be staying up till like 3 in the morning on the weekends. Like I have nothing to do. This isn't due like tonight. I'm just like in the zone. You know what I mean?
Dude, make me like hello thumbnails. Like
I'll do that because that's fun.
I'll literally give you like the next like five. So like if you're ever
Yeah,
bored, just be like, I'll just work on this piece of shit,
I
dude.
dude,
Literally,
I would literally I do that for fun. I would do that
dude,
like that's like instead of scrolling TikTok, I'd rather do that.
dude, doom scrolling on, dude. It's so crazy hearing people like on podcasts and stuff like talk like literally what you think because I've heard so many people be like, there's a difference between scrolling on TikTok and scrolling on YouTube. When you scroll on YouTube, you literally doom scroll, and it's so true. On TikTok, I don't know why. Like for some reason on TikTok, I can get out. like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Like if the five I weren't fucking with it, I'm just gonna go somewhere else. Maybe Instagram. Maybe just get off my phone like altogether. Like whatever. YouTube's something about YouTube, bro. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Like I would be entertained. I'll look up at the corner, bro. Like an hour has passed, 2 hours have passed. YouTube Shorts, dude, they will fucking they have that
Yeah,
gorilla grip on you, bro.
dude.
Like,
Yeah, what that I rarely ever
take
scrolled.
me.
Yeah,
This is a callback to episode 1. Was it episode 1?
it was episode. I think we recorded last week, so it was technically
Oh
episode 3.
shit!
Episode.
Wait,
It was
are you
episode 3 or
sure?
4.
Dude, I was getting so tripped out earlier because I was listening to to the podcast and I
Yeah.
was like, I was working. I was like, he th- he uploaded the same one. And then I started going back and then I was like, oh wait, no, nothing
No.
uploaded is the same. But I was like, I've heard this before.
Yeah, it was weird because like he texted me after I uploaded the video, and he was like, "Bro, did you use clips from the last episode?" And I was like, "What? No." And he was like, "Are you?" And I was like, "Are you sure?" And I was like, and I had like the night before had barely took the clips from the hard drive to edit them, so I was like, "No, dude, it's like impossible." Because like I delete the stuff off the hard drive after to save space after I put them on my computer. So I was like, no, it's impossible. Like there's no possible way this was reused. Yeah, he was getting tripped out.
Dude, I was getting, but no, because I feel like it's just the fact that like now we talk and then I mean I watched the episodes after like when you published them and like it's just hearing the conversation twice. I've never done that in my life. I've
Yeah,
never gone back into a conversation like like to listen to everything I said. I'd be wild.
yeah, dude. There'll be times because like at least we're at like a rate right now where like the conversations happened like weeks ago.
Yeah,
So once they're uploaded, so like I'll forget what we're talking about, and dude, I'll be laughing at some of the shit we'll say. Like, yeah, it's just really funny. Like, there was one time where you were like, "Dude, I'll get in the ring for for what's the channel name again?
I'll die for this
I'll
shit.
die for this shit for
Let me
um uh
think.
yeah, that shit was so funny.
Oh,
But like genuinely, when you were first saying that, I didn't know what you were trying to say, so I thought you were like, "Oh yeah, I'll get in the ring for 5,000 subscribers for in the name of what is it called?" And I was
in
like,
the name
Allah.
of love. Oh,
And I was
oh
like,
yeah, yeah,
Allah.
yeah.
And then you were like, no.
No, 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 no. I mean, I don't have
uh,
anything against them, but no. No, okay, wait. Let's
I
up
mean, I
that.
met the guy, but
Let's up that and then end this episode because I don't know how much time that we have left or whatever. But
we probably been doing this for like 2 hours.
what time is it?
10.
Yeah, 2 hours.
Yeah, 2 hours.
Nah, I'm cool with that. But just to like uh give off a good time. Um, what's it fucking called? Bro, I've been losing my fucking train. I think I'm getting sick too. I've been losing my train of thought like hell of this fucking
I
episode.
did. You just didn't get sleep last night.
Dude, I haven't gotten any fucking sleep, but I'm gonna make another YouTube video in the next 2 days. So
Yeah. Dude, we gotta make some YouTube shorts. Dude, we have so many good clips that we could use for like bait.
true,
You know what I mean?
true.
You think you can make some shorts?
Yes, I have shorts on the way.
Okay. Dude, we're gonna get you guys some shorts. I don't know why it sounded so goofy.
Dude, literally, like you saying that just hit me like a ton of bricks. I'm like, oh yeah, like I have no sleep in my system. Like
Yeah.
I barely, I that
You just
just
realized?
clicked. I'm
Yeah.
just like,
He was
oh
like, man, I've
yeah.
been losing my train of thought recently. What do you think, Jordan? You're like, who
I'm
the fuck is Jordan?
fucked. Okay, no, no, no. Like
The cameraman, Jordan.
we should do that. We should do an episode where we don't sleep for 24 hours.
Dude, you
That
know
would
that's
be.
like literally like a war crime to like.
I've seen the episode. I know what you're talking about, right? The one where it's like the Russian experiment,
Yeah, and they keep you awake.
but
And
that one was like for weeks.
yeah, I think what's it called?
You go crazy.
Yeah, you go crazy after like 3 days of no sleep.
Ooh, nah, 3 days.
3 days after like you start like going crazy. That's why what's it called? Parents, you've never seen that? Like they'll like kill their kids from like sleep deprivation. You never heard of that?
I've
Well,
heard, like yeah, but at the same time, I didn't know it was literally. I thought it was just like they have a screw loose. I didn't know
No,
it was
like
like
it's from sleep deprivation. Like perfectly normal people, like people if you don't get enough sleep, like you'll literally go insane.
what the
That's why your body forces you to
fuck.
shut down when you get sleepy.
So literally, if I don't go to sleep, I'm gonna turn into like a serial killer or something.
Not a serial killer, you start hallucinating like very quickly.
What do you think I'll see?
I don't know, but like people who like parents who have hallucinated literally think that killing their baby will save their baby. It's such a weird like that's like a common thing. Like they think like, oh, like my baby's crying, I need to kill him to make him safe.
That's fucking
Yeah.
insane. Oh, I okay. Fuck, that kind of sounds fucked up. I was about
What?
to be like, oh, I kind of understand because I was like, they can't sleep, they want to rest, so they're seeing their baby can't rest. So how do I make that like
Yeah.
baby manually rest? Like,
Yeah.
which does I'm not saying it's fuck that. That's
No.
fucking
No, I
crazy,
mean obviously, but it's just like your brain is like it's like trying to make sense of things, but it's like it can't.
dude. Literally, bro.
Yeah, and I'm so
Fuck.
like literally after like 4 days of like no rest, dude, like and I'm saying like obviously like zero sleep of like 3 days straight of no sleep. Cause like one thing is like 24 hours and like because I've stayed awake for like, 24 hours, but like really I'd be taking like 5 minute naps
Yeah,
in
yeah, yeah,
between.
yeah,
And that's like something.
yeah.
Like
That's at least something.
your body will like gladly take 5 minutes of sleep.
Yeah,
And dude, I've gone like in finals weeks or like in and like doing like three finals and like a three finals papers on like one weekend, and I won't sleep for like 2 days, but like really I'm like taking like 2 hour naps, like I've taken like 3 hour naps in between days, you know what I mean?
I know exactly what you're talking about, bro.
So it's like over the course of like 3 days I've had 6 hours of sleep, but like it does not compare to having 3 full days of no sleep.
Sleep is so fucking underrated.
Yeah,
I fucking like the one thing that
I think sleep is so good it's impossible to be underrated.
nah, I think it's on because some people. So I heard John Berthenol or whatever. I don't know if you've seen
Burnt all.
when he was filming like Daredevil or something. He was like whoever cast uh whatever guy he was casting
Oh,
with. He was like
Punisher.
he takes naps. What fucking guy takes naps? I mean the whole world's fucking moving and you're over here fucking in your trailer, like, and people were laughing, but I was like, bro, like naps, like okay, I feel like people who who are like that don't know how to take naps because there's
Yeah,
another thing where I hate, no, I can't stand anything worse than this. I wouldn't even hope it on my worst enemies where you you're like I'm gonna sleep. I have time dedicated to sleeping where
yeah,
whether it be like normal like 9 to 9 in the morning or whatever, or like even like an hour nap. I would hate because it happens to me sometimes where like I do sleep, but then I wake up and either like my neck was fucked up, my
yeah,
arm was like in a certain position, my back like so when I get up like I can feel like a little tenseness. Like I hate that where like you thought you were gonna get rest and instead you fucked yourself up more. I hate that.
dude.
I hate that,
I
bro.
could totally take soreness if I knew I got 10 hours of sleep.
No, but not like soreness. Like, have you ever had like a crick in your neck or like in your back or
Yeah,
something?
and I wake up and like it hurts to move it
Like for the rest of the
for the
day,
rest of the day.
like you go like that. You're like
Yeah,
damn it,
but
or like.
if I knew I got 10 hours of sleep, my brain is okay.
But the thing is, it's not a good 10 hours. You had that 10 hours like oh, I don't know about you,
Nah,
but
that's
when
all muscle. That's just muscle. That's not my
no no
brain.
no no when I don't know if everything is like too connected for me, but like I feel like my subconscious knows when my body isn't fully like relaxed.
Oh,
So when I wake up, I'm like a little bit groggy. I'm like that I knew it wasn't good. I'm feeling it. I know like my body ain't rested. Like all of it. All of it's just like
no, I could. That's the thing for me is like I could sleep for. I think I could infinitely sleep if
dude.
I let my body sleep. Because like when I wasn't working for like a little bit, or not when I wasn't working, but when I worked at McDonald's, I my shift was from 10 to, or I mean from 2 p.m. to 10 p.m. So I
Mm-hmm.
usually had the whole morning and even some of the afternoon.
Mm-hmm.
So I would get home at like midnight, and then I would just stay up all night because I didn't have to wake up till like 12, and I
True.
still get to eat breakfast and then go to work.
True.
But so like for me, like I would literally sleep like if I for one whatever reason I went to sleep early, I would literally sleep for like 12 hours and still oversleep my shift.
Bruh.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
And I would be like my body does not need this much sleep, but like I still would just be like I'm sleeping.
What the
I could
fuck?
literally sleep for longer than 12 hours. And yeah, dude, I freaking hate it. I've overslept so many alarms. And the thing is like I conditioned myself during that time to like set like 3 alarms that like I don't even alarms don't work for me anymore.
Dude, alarms don't work for me anymore. And
Nah,
I like in high school, like I used when I would hear that about people, I'd be like, bro, like you just don't set them. They're just
nah,
not loud enough. Your
that's not
phone
true.
either shuts off, dude.
It's not true.
I'm one of those people now where I'll just turn it'll be like 2 hours past where I set it and I'm like it's not even like I would still want it to be going off. It just
Yeah.
doesn't go off anymore. Like it's just like, yeah, no, you passed it. Like,
No, yeah, dude. There's be times where like I'll like put like literally have like 4 alarms, and then I'll wake up like 3 hours or like an hour after I was supposed to be where I was supposed to be, and I'm like, what the fuck? And then like I checked to see if my alarms were on, or if the alarm ringer was on, and then I
dude,
set an alarm to like 2 minutes from now just to test it, and it was on, and
dude,
I'm just like, I was like, I didn't even remember like turning it off, and so I was like, it must have been ringing for literally 30 minutes.
literally,
It
yeah.
had to have been ringing for 30 minutes.
And just your
And it
dumbass
just
just
and I didn't wake up at all.
fuck,
Yeah.
fuck that.
Yeah. I can't so now I my body knows to wake up like 10 minutes before I'm supposed to be where I'm supposed to be. So I still get there late, but it's I never oversleep it anymore, which is like a good and a bad thing. So I still have to set alarms, but mostly I just have to get enough sleep. Otherwise I won't wake up. Like, yeah. Yeah. Sometimes if I get too much sleep, yeah, I'd rather get less sleep than get too much sleep. Because if I get too much sleep, there's no stopping me. If I get too much sleep, dude, I would literally sleep for 12 hours.
I'm trying to think about it like
There's no
if
stopping me from
because
sleeping.
I really do I don't know if this is like a little kid thing in me, but I really do like going to sleep knowing I have something planned for the next day.
Mm.
Like I'm like,
Like
oh,
a
we're
field
going
trip?
like
I gotta put my
yeah,
outfit to the side.
exactly. Like we're going to a water park or like I'm going to the zoo tomorrow or something. I like the night before being like, oh yeah, like I don't know something about it. Like I really get I love it, but then at the same time, like I don't like it because the sleep is always never good. Because I feel like I'm always so hyped up. I'm always like,
Oh,
yeah, I'm gonna go here and I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do that, and then like 3 in the morning rolls
yeah,
around, and then I barely fall asleep, and then I
yeah.
have to wake up at like 7, and I wake up like, oh,
Are you the type of person that would like wake up knowing if you have something important? Like you would even without an alarm?
depends. Because I'm one of those people, or at least when growing up, where like I was one of those people where like I had my first day school fit on my bed.
Yeah, no, no, okay,
So
yeah.
like I wake
But
up and
I'm
be like,
saying like,
oh
but I'm
yeah,
saying
you
like let's
already
say
know who it is.
like you have an important interview and like you know this is important to you, and it's like would you
Oh
and
no,
like would you wake up without an alarm?
oh no, no, I need an alarm.
Oh wow,
I would no, I would I for like something like that. I'm one of those people who I need like an hour and a half before because I want to shower, I want to like
yeah.
shave, I want to do all that shit.
I was gonna say just because like I'm one of those people, but like I know low key inside my subconscious if I like really care about something. So like I for most stuff like I won't wake up. You know what I mean? So like it'll be like a really super like important job interview, and then I'll be like, I don't fucking I don't even want to get this job low key, and then I like oversleep it, and then like I'll have set an alarm, but then there'll be shit like this game comes out tomorrow. And it's like it's not even like it's like exactly dude like it's like a weekend tomorrow like I have all day to play it like I don't have to wake up early but like I'll wake up at like 7 in the morning wide awake like fully rested after 3 hours of sleep and it's just like bro like I can't do like why do I do this to myself you know what I mean
I'll say my this might be a little bit unrelated, but as an anime fan, I love that because you brought that up right now, where like you can kind of forget about things and then be reminded of them. I love being an anime fan because I literally for like you get into shows and animes and like you kind of forget about them sometimes because it's like, oh, the next season's coming out in a year, next month or whatever, and then you just forget about them, and then you start seeing clips or people talking about it of like One Piece, the season 3, the best shit ever, and then you're just like, oh, I completely forgot that One Piece was coming out with the season, and then you go
Yeah.
back, you click on it, like, bro, anime, bro, right now, very good position. I mean, we low key got out of a better position because uh we were getting weekly drops of Blue Lock and Solo Leveling, but now
Why was that a bad position?
because now we're only, that was a better position than we're at now because now we only get One Piece every Sunday. We were getting
Oh,
two shows because they were like they matched up to where like I think it was like
yeah.
3 months where it was maybe not three, like at least two, where it was like Blue Lock, Solo Leveling every Saturday. Oh shit, that
Oh,
shit
okay,
was
okay.
fire.
You guys, anime fans are lucky just because it's like it's a very like it's like it's you guys even though it's very like there's so much variety and so much like difference in like what a show could be. You guys all like are just fans of all of it.
Nah,
Most of it.
nah.
You're gonna tell me there wasn't like 20 other shows that are being released every week right now besides Blue Lock and whatever.
Yeah, and I don't really fuck with like half of them. Like that dude that we were in the Discord call with the other day, my boy, he was trying to convince me to go to an anime convention that I might actually go next month. He was trying to get me to go this Saturday, but that one, nah, fuck that one. The one next month, he says that he's gonna dress up as an anime person, and I've never done that. And like I before, I definitely looked at those type of people like you're weird. But then he showed me his costume or whatever, and I'm like, oh, that dude Loki got some drip. Like I'll show you, and you'll be like, oh, like that's not bad.
Yeah,
Um, he's not like he doesn't have like swords or nothing. He's from like a show where like it's like a
it
horror
has
show.
normal people.
What happened?
It just has normal people.
Like if you're thinking he's like a chainsaw man, like nah, like he has like no, he's not in like a bow tie either. Like no, none of that. He's just like it's weird. Like I don't even know his name, but from the anime that he's from, Persona, if you know Persona, it's a very, very like if I say Persona and you like Persona, it's kind of like if I were to say, do you like Mr. Beast? Nah, Mr. Beast is kind of like a bad example, but like a Misfits type of video.
Yeah,
It's like, oh, then I know who you're gonna kind of like on YouTube. You're gonna kind of like an iDubbbz, the older iDubbbz. You're gonna
yeah,
kind of like a Danny Duncan maybe. Where if I say like I don't fuck with that, I fuck more with like Attack on Titan, One Punch Man, One Piece, Naruto. You're gonna be like, oh, I see who you are. Like me, I, Persona, and all of those shows, you could never get me to watch or play that because that one's like a horror anime where like people are trapped somewhere. I don't even know too much about it, and it basically is getting down to one person, and everyone else has to die, and it's sort of like this like classroom type of
is it like a battle royale?
execution. I think so. But it might be like Saw where it's like more traps. I don't even know really.
Hmm.
But like I don't I see all of that shit as stupid. I see all this shit that's like he was trying to tell me one that I was like, bro, just the title, I'm not gonna watch it. That time I got reincarnated as a slime. That's literally what
The
it's
name
called.
they'd be having some weird titles. I like that a lot of there's a lot of animes that have like goofy titles on purpose like that.
They're so funny
I
sometimes,
love that
bro.
they have that.
There's one that I literally added to my watch list because I was like, what the fuck? It was like that one time I got trapped in a dungeon and a fiery and that one time I got trapped in a dungeon and a giant dragon became my best friend. That's literally the title. And when I saw it, I was like, dude, the amount of like letters on like the poster is like 90% of the poster. I'm like, what the fuck
I
is
gotta
this?
watch this.
Dude, I mean, hey, it wasn't too bad. No, I haven't seen it yet. But there's a lot of shit on there that I still have yet to see. I feel like there's one that you would. I watched the first episode at the gym, and I feel like right up your alley. It's called Kaiju Number 8.
I don't like kaiju stuff.
Do you know what kaiju means?
Yeah, like Godzilla and stuff. That's like a perfect note to end the episode right there.
Honestly,
Yeah, but I don't like kaiju stuff. Like Godzilla. I know some super fans of Godzilla and like the King Kong, King Ghidorah.
watch
Like
it. Watch it. The
I don't,
guy actually kind of reminds me of you.
I don't
Actually,
like them.
he has your like same like hairstyle kind of.
All right.
Not in the bad way, but he just kind of looks like you.
Okay.
I feel like you're taking that in a bad way,
No,
but
no,
that's not a
no. I'm
bad
not taking it
thing.
back. You know, people. So many people have compared me to video game character or to like cartoon characters, and they're always like the most basic, like two dots and line on the face.
You kind of do give like a Luffy like vibe. You've seen Luffy, right?
Yeah, seen we watched it.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
You do, but then not at the same time.
Every time, it's like I think that the three like most characters that I've been compared to is Beast Boy, Astro
Oh
Boy,
shit, for real, Beast Boy.
Astro Boy, and then well now that guy, which I'm sure is
Luffy.
just a freaking two lines, triangle nose, and then a line.
It's literally just dots, circles for eyes, and
Yeah,
then just a smiley face.
yeah,
That's all it is.
yeah. That's I have been compared, dude. I got generic face syndrome.
I mean, that's not. You could be worse.
I could, oh yeah, that's true. I'd rather have like a preset face than like have like a randomized slider face.
Like if I were to be like, well, is it only video games or anime
That I've been compared to.
or anything?
That I've been compared to. It's only been like cartoon characters.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Because I've
because Astro
gotten.
Boy is not. Well, from the people that compared me to it were not. It was the new the 3D like animated one. I think the one that came out in like the early like the 2010s when we were
Uh,
kids. Because I think Astro Boy is like from the 80s or the
yeah,
70s or
yeah, yeah,
something.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
But Beast Boy is actually pretty on par.
yeah.
It's pretty cool.
I
I
would think I
mean,
was Beast Boy for I almost said for Christmas. I was
for
Beast Boy
Halloween,
for Halloween one time. Yeah.
you went in green face.
No, I just dyed my hair
Also,
green, which it wasn't even dye. It was just sprayed paint.
I mean,
Yeah, it was
but
pretty cool,
but to pop up a green face photo would have been.
dude. That would have been. I don't even think I have photos of me in that costume.
That sucks. That
Yeah,
would have been cool to
yeah,
have.
that would have been cool to have. That would have been. It would have been really funny if I just had like very weird like fingerprint face colored. Like you could see fingerprints on my face like from like the green. Like somebody slapped me
Oh
around
yeah,
with
yeah,
green.
yeah, yeah,
That'd have been
yeah.
funny. Yeah.
And then it's like a old fashioned like the recordings, and then there's just like a guy that walks behind, and there's just like green like on his pants a little bit, like the
Yeah,
smudge.
it'd be so. You know, this is during the time when like Instagram first came out, so it'd just been funny to like see those old ass Instagram filters. You remember those
Yeah,
that like
yeah,
have
yeah,
like the
yeah.
Chief Keef like the Rio de Janeiro Instagram filter?
Shout out Chief Keef, man. You're the fucking
That
boss.
guy's awesome. Chief Keef, Rio de Janeiro. That's actually what's it called? What I made the Let Me See channel picture. It's the Batman picture, but with the Rio de Janeiro old Instagram filter over it.
That's
I
fucking
don't know if you
awesome.
guys have figured that out, but
No.
that's what it is. It's pretty funny. I literally looked up the overlay so I could put it over the profile picture. Yeah. All right.
You heard
I think
that.
we're ready to end the episode here.
I'm sorry if we weren't super energetic this one. I feel like literally biological warfare was cast upon us.
Yeah.
You with allergies and me with being a fucking dumbass and not being able to manage my time.
Yeah.
So
This yeah, just to that guy, that much part.
yeah,
Me, yeah, I guess I'm just genetically inferior. I guess I don't know. Like this guy manages his time. This guy has medical
I
deformalities.
fucked up. No, but honestly,
My parents fucked up.
next episode I feel like I have something. We got something cooking for you guys. So hopefully next episode
Yes.
is a big distinction. Honestly, bro, we just gotta chug like a monster each before we record episodes.
Yeah. I usually bring coffee, but I have to drink it like 3 hours ahead because I don't. It doesn't hit me till like 3 hours later.
Oh,
That's the thing.
is that just caffeine across the board, or like,
Yeah.
mm, you ever try creatine?
Oh, I don't know why I confused it with ketamine. Both
No,
cases, no.
dude, I'm trying to hop. Dude, I'm sorry we said we're gonna end this, but I'm trying to hop on steroids. Like yes and no, because I've literally just been like it pops up more and more, right? Like
Steroid ads?
no, like if you watch like one person like just stay and watch one person doing like an exercise at the gym, you get like two more posts, right? If you
Yeah.
watch one more, you get like three more. So like I've just been getting steadily more and more like gym content, and there's like it's like pretty like open, and like it's not like a secret that like people use steroids anymore, and like there's
Yeah.
a bunch of videos of people going to the gym being like natty or not, and then people like talking about their experiences of, and there's like people who like talk about it, and the shit that they say about it, they're almost always like, man, I just wish I would have hopped on before. Like what's the number one thing you would tell yourself like before hopping on steroids? Do it, just do it. It changes your life. Do it. And like they always say like
Those
it's
people I feel like already work hard enough to do their bodies and they're just getting like an extra edge.
no, well, the reason why I want it, or why I would want it to like to like at least for right now, right? Because like that's what people would say, and then once they get into it, it's like they need more and more and more.
Yeah.
But as of right now, I would literally just want it to like literally turn into a panther.
A
Like
panther?
yeah, like I want to like just become a beast for like I want to become a beast for like the rest of the year, and then go back to like this. I don't want to be a beast for the rest of my life. Like I want to become an absolute specimen for like I want to be able to look in the yearbooks and be like, oh yeah, that's a year I was an absolute fucking Chad, and like it's just me built as fuck, and then just turn over and I'm just back to normal.
I was like, but you look like this now.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's what like how I am now. I want to just go back to this, like, but
Yeah.
after being a fucking Chad, like
What are you gonna do in the meanwhile then?
just be a fucking Chad, just like lift heavy shit and take photos with it,
Here's my mom.
dude. Not even that, like hold the hell of bitches up and shit, like.
Here's your mom.
All right,
That one died.
let me
He
think.
killed that lady.
Episode 7. This one's for the books. All right, we'll see you guys later.
All right.